Hello there, thanks for watching my views and news. Some news stories from Ethiopia and Eritrea for you. Firstly, Tigray viewers. Three Tigray opposition parties issued a joint statement a few minutes ago about today's incidents which happened in Mekelle, Tigray's capital, where police brutally dispersed a protest by these opposition parties. How many have been arrested? What is the new strategy, new plan of action of these opposition parties? Secondly, Amhara region of Ethiopia, North Shewa zone of the Amhara region, where clashes are ongoing in a town, and response to criticism from my views and news. People say, Sajid, you are portraying civilian deaths at the hands of security forces, extrajudicial killings in the Brimorkos as deaths of Fano fighters. You are not reporting facts. I want to respond to this accusation. And thirdly, viewers, Eritrea Israel tensions. In Israel on Saturday, there were clashes between Eritrean pro-democracy and pro-Eritrean government groups. More than 100 were injured, and then Israeli Prime Minister announced to deport hundreds of Eritreans. So what is happening now in Israel? Any proceedings began there to deport Eritreans? A tribunal is working there, details for you. Firstly, viewers, Tigray, where three opposition parties tried to protest in Mekelle today. What happened there? What is these opposition parties' new position? The three parties issued a joint statement an hour ago. The three parties say that Mekelle city government, Tigray interim government, refused to give permission to opposition parties to hold a protest rally in Mekelle, saying there was security threat to this program in Mekelle. But when opposition party members gathered in Mekelle on Thursday morning, there was no threat. Threat was from police. Threat was from regional security forces which used force. They misbehaved with protesters, they harassed protesters, they harshly beat protesters. Mobile phones, cameras of journalists were snatched. And those who were recording the videos of these clashes, they were arrested, their mobile phones were captured by security forces. The three parties say that this is slavery. What is happening in Tigray is slavery. People's democratic right, fundamental right to protest is being denied. The three parties are demanding release of their top leaders. Around 50 of their top leaders, top tier workers arrested so far. Total number of arrests around 150 reportedly. These parties, Stalsivuyene, Betona, Tigray Independence Party, they are demanding the release of their leaders and workers, firstly. Secondly, they are demanding investigation against, they're demanding investigation into the incidents which happened in Mekelle today, use of force by police. I'm a little surprised by the statement of these opposition parties. These opposition parties protested against the government today. They say government is not letting the people exercise their right to protest. At the same time, these parties want investigation. Who will conduct the investigation? Obviously, government. Government is trying to crush political dissent in Tigray. So how can any transparent investigation be conducted? So far, no new plan of action announced by these opposition parties. Uh, Almost all top leaders of Salsivogene, Betona, Tigray Independence Party are in prison. Simba Democratic Party withdrew. There was no significant presence of Tigray Arena Party too, it seems. Getacheau's government has successfully crushed, dispersed today's protest rally, but a lot is going to happen, I think. In coming days, you will see more and bigger challenges for Getacheau's government. These opposition parties managed to get public attention. International media is covering the violence which happened in Mekelle today. Because Deutsche Welle, Voice of America, journalists, local journalists working for this organization, they were there in Mekelle to cover the protests. These journalists were also attacked. Their devices were taken into custody by security forces. So international media covered what happened in Mekelle today. Opposition parties have successfully sent a message to all Ethiopians and international media too that Tigray interim government is denying people's opposition parties basic right to protest. So I see trouble for Tigray interim government, for Getacheau as well. Getacheau admitted last night his government's limitations. He admitted there were prisons in Tigray unknown to government. He admitted that security situation was not enviable, that he himself was not secure. So he admitted a lot. It means that either he will have to do something to correct, or he could be a casualty of this conflict between the opposition and TPLF. TPLF was not happy when Getacheau was elected as party's candidate for Tigray interim government. Top TPLF leaders opposed his nomination. Somehow he was elected. So Getacheau could be a casualty of this confrontation if it goes on. Let's see. So far, opposition wants investigation and release of its leaders. No new plan of action announced by the. Maybe leaders are in prison and they'll be released. Then meetings will be held and new strategy will be announced by opposition parties. Some arrested political workers are injured. They were not allowed to be treated at a hospital, and at least one or two have been taken out of Mekelle too. Basically, it was police brutality on display in Mekelle today. Secondly, viewers, Amhara region of Ethiopia, North Shore zone, where there was heavy fighting in a town situated to the west of Debre Birhan. North Shore, relatively stable. Main towns along the road are under ENDF control. Debre Birhan, Shorobit, peaceful. Road is being opened too, but Fano fighters still have their presence to the east and west of this main road. They were seen in Eritrea 2 days ago, close to Amhara-Oromian border. And there was heavy fighting between Fano fighters and Ethiopian military in Jihor and Anvari, which are in North Shore zone of the Amhara region. Overall situation along the main road is under control, but outskirts of North Shore are under Fano control. Small towns, villages, all of them almost under the control of Fano fighters. Main road has been cleared by Ethiopian National Defense Force, and Fano fighters have their presence close to Oromia border too, as they were seen in Eritrea around 48 hours ago. Secondly, people say, Sajid, you are not reporting facts. You said that Fano fighters were assassinated extrajudicially by, they were killed extrajudicially by Ethiopian military, and you published a video too. People say those are not Fano fighters, they're civilians. One of them is a teacher at W. Marcos University. Well, why would military kill civilians while already military is faced with resistance from people? Why would military kill innocent people? Does it make sense? And can someone differentiate between Fano fighters and civilians? If someone is a university teacher, college professor, can we say that he cannot be a Fano fighter? Fano fighters are ordinary people, farmers, students, teachers, doctors, people from all walks of life are part of Fano factions. Not just ENDF members, yes, some ENDF members, there are too, some thousands of Amhara special force members a part of Fano too, but apart from these trained people, there are thousands of locals, residents of different town cities, and they have been tasked with different responsibilities. Some are providing intelligence to Fano fighters, some are providing logistics to Fano fighters. So, military generally does not kill civilians. Those civilians are killed or captured who are active supporters of armed factions. We saw that in Tigray too, in Oromia, in BG, in Amhara. Same practice. Military basically wants to terrorize people by killing those who are supporters, spies of these Fano fighters, or Fano fighters themselves are being publicly killed to terrorize people, that people should not join Fano fighters. That is what I have learned from the people who know what happened in Debre Morkos. Thirdly, viewers, Eritrea-Israel relations. In Israel on Saturday, there was a big clash between Eritrean groups. Pro-democracy and pro-Eritrean government groups clashed. More than 100 were injured, including Israeli police officials. Then Israeli police started a crackdown. Eritreans were arrested. Hundreds were arrested reportedly after that. Benjamin Netanyahu, Israeli Prime Minister, announced to deport these Eritreans, but before this deportation, a legal procedure is being adopted. A tribunal has been established which is hearing the cases of those Eritreans who are in custody. These Eritreans are being represented by lawyers, pro-Eritrean government, Eritrean community members in Israel. They are being represented by a lawyer. It is being rumored that Eritrean government is paying for the services of this lawyer. We don't know, but pro-government Eritreans are being represented by a lawyer. Tribunal is hearing the case. Tribunal is going to make decision whether to deport these Eritreans back to Eritrea or not. That we'll see in coming days. But a procedure is being adopted for deportation, and we know that Israeli courts and tribunals are not under the thumb of Israeli government. Some have been opposing Israeli government's policies regarding immigration, regarding treatment of refugees. So let's see, we'll have to wait. But Eritrea-Israel relations are very tense since the statement from Eritrean government in which it accused Israeli intelligence agency Mossad of working against Eritrean interests across the world. Israeli government silent. It did not respond to Eritrean accusations, but this tribunal is silently proceeding, hearing the cases of those who were involved in clashes and who are in custody. Thank you for watching.